Hello and welcome to the No Name Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Ricky. Welcome back to episode 3. Sorry for the delay on this one. A lot happened on the original recording day for this, and I decided just to push it back and then chill and relax and all that stuff and bring it back on and then release it on today on Friday for that. But we will be back on our regular scheduled day Thursday next week, and where we talk about stuff. But if you don't know already, this is the No Name Gaming Podcast, where every week I come on here to talk about the latest stuff that's happening in gaming. And all the time, anytime, you can catch us here, either here on YouTube on the No Name Entertainment channel, but you also can catch us on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and many other audio services under the No Name Entertainment name. You can now also catch us on YouTube Music as a podcast now. So if you happen to have YouTube, if you do listen to your stuff on YouTube Music, there's a podcast section, and we are under there. We are under this one is under the No Name Gaming Podcast, and then of course our regular show, the No Name Podcast, is under its own feed too, in YouTube Game Music and all that stuff. So be sure to check that out on the podcast feeds for those too, for that. Anyways, I hope everyone's had a good time the last couple of weeks. Everyone's been doing fine, and we've been rolling out episodes as much as possible. We just did an episode for the No Name Podcast where I talk about Across the Spider-Verse and Rise of the Beast. Get ready for and be ready to prepare for in a couple of weeks when I talk about The Flash, as I'm recording this, coming back from that right now and everything. First things first, pretty good movie, in my opinion, and all that stuff. But that's neither here or there. Let's get into everything and all that stuff. But first, let's talk about what I've been playing. As I mentioned earlier, I did not record on a normal recording day, but I was things happen, stuff like that, and I wanted to chill. So I decided to check out the new season for Warzone, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, where we got a new map bundle, we got some new guns, new battle pass, of course, and all that stuff, how it goes every season. But I mostly got to check out the new map. Me and Manny got to play for that, and I will say I had an interesting time with the new map. It feels a lot of rooftop climbing in a way, and everything. It feels like a lot of fighting on the roofs than it is on the floor. For that, I don't know how I feel about that, but it is what it is. So we'll just go from there. Hopefully, a lot is different. A lot has changed, and hopefully it'll get all back. Hopefully we'll see where it goes. I haven't tried out the new guns yet. For that, I haven't gotten to them yet. Hopefully later on in the weekend I'll be able to check them out, level them out, fully level them up, and then play out and see how they feel. So far, from what I've seen, I haven't heard much about them. From what I've been paying attention to within the Warzone COD community, and everything, but who knows? We'll give it a shot. We'll check them out. Uh, One game I haven't played enough is Diablo. Uh, Diablo, ever since launch, that's like the one game I've been wanting to play more. But I know it's like thing is with Diablo. I know if I stick my teeth into it, um, I probably won't get out of it. And it's edited, but I'm enjoying it. It is a game. It's more of a palate cleanser kind of game, I guess you can say, where I can just get on, just move around, shoot out some enemies, learn the game and all that stuff of how it plays, and getting new gear and all that stuff and everything. Trying to learn the ways of how Diablo works, since this is my very first Diablo game. But I like I said, it's a game that I want to play more, but I know if I do, I'm gonna be stuck and everything, because I need to have that variety in games to be playing, unless it's something I really enjoy. And June has been such a crazy month in gaming so far, with Diablo, Street Fighter, new season of Fortnite, new season of Warzone and Call of Duty, new season of Overwatch 2, which I need to check out also, and all that stuff, because it's just a lot of a lot of fun games. XDefine is doing an open beta next week, which we'll probably talk about a bit more. Which probably talk about next week's episode, because I think there'll be time. I'll be able. I think I'll have it played by the. I have it played, if not the week after, to give more of an in depth feel of it, since we never got to talk about it during the closed betas for that and everything. But that's coming up, and then the rest of the month is like, well, I think July we're good. August we may soon. Hopefully, I think July. Well, I mean, between now and then September, and particularly September, I think we're good and all that stuff and everything. September is about to be a crazy, crazy month, and we'll get into that later. For that, but yeah, it's been mostly we checked out. Yeah, like I said, checked out the new season of Call of Duty for what they provided for their content, what they provided with the new map. Again, it's an iffy map. I wouldn't say iffy. It's the fact that it's like when you get to a place, most likely you're gonna have to get to the rooftop in order to fight and all that stuff. It's rare when you see people come down. Even if they're coming downstairs, they're more outside of the buildings than inside of the buildings for that stuff. I again haven't tried the new guns. I do say with rank play now a thing in Warzone, I it's only trios and it's only on the new on the bigger map El Mazra. I put a tweet out saying how about adding solos and duos for rank play, but it's set in the smaller maps, Ashika Island and the new one Vondel. I think if it's since it is more of a server capacity of keep maintaining players, I can understand that for why they haven't done that yet. But I say if you did a rank play, solos and duos, but on those two using those two maps, it'll be interesting to see and all that stuff. You can keep quads, you can add trios if you want to on that map, but if I think for trios and quads, you can leave that on the bigger map, and then using duos and solos on the two smaller ones, medium small maps in Warzone, particularly for rank play. Because I would probably be on it most more if it was if there was a solo rank or even duos, because I know me and Manny didn't play it as much now, so that way we can do rank play and all that stuff. That stuff. But yeah, that's just my opinion. That's what I've been playing so far. But let's get into the big stuff. And this past weekend was Summer Games Fest. As you know, last week's episode we did a prediction show on the Xbox Game Showcase, which was this past Sunday. And we did some predictions. We talked about what we thought would be there, what could happen, and all that stuff. I'm trying to pull that up right now as we go. But it was I want to talk about my experience of watching it because me and Manny got to see it, and because they made it available to see it in theaters, and I thought let's check it out, let's give it a shot, see what we can see what's there, and hopefully we have a good time with it and all that stuff. And so we went to the movie theater. It was a little out of town from so Sacramento and San Francisco were the technically closest one. Sacramento's more closer to us in a way, but we wanted to make sure of what can we do and all that stuff, which will be better. I ultimately choose Sacramento without it. So, but we did that and see where it went. And I didn't do proper predictions on when I wrote this down. Dang it, and all that stuff. But we got to check it out. So I will say the thing was the show was so pretty much the overall show was worth watching no matter what. Was it worth watching in a movie theater? I think it would have, depending on fan engagement when you're watching all this stuff. Um, I mean, I listened to a lot of gaming podcasts and they talked about it. In particular, there was a big one happening in LA, and they were talking about how crowds were loud and everything like that, cheering for everything that was there and everything for most of the stuff that was there. Our theater wasn't like that, unfortunately, and everything. I don't know, maybe Manny can attest to this. I was the one that was probably like excited, but I wasn't like screaming out loud or anything. I was more like hand movements and all that stuff, and like, oh my gosh, and everything. And I'm looking at Manny and me like, can you believe that? And all that stuff. And but no, I mean, it was enjoyable to watch in a theater and everything because it's something different and all that stuff. It I would say next time because they should try to do it in a with a more in a bigger screen if they want to have it more clarity because it's not a 4K display of sorts and everything like that. And then it's like because I rewatched the showcase when I got home and I got to watch it in 4K and all that stuff, and everything that was shown was amazing and and so nice to see. And but unfortunately for this, it didn't work out on the theater as much. Though I could tell like, oh, this because this every time I saw something, a new game or something, and how it looks, I'd be like, oh, this would look very amazing when I see this when I see this on 4K at home and on stuff. Because I know for the fact of like, oh, cool, how like this looks nice. But no, the theater experience was interesting for us, and particularly for the fact that like it was a nice crowd that was there, but we there wasn't like a cheerful crowd of sorts and everything like that. Which, again, nothing against anybody that was there and all that stuff, but I was like, I was kind of expecting a little bit out of it and everything. But that's neither here or there and all that stuff. So let's talk about what we said, what was there, about stuff. So I had a list already of about the games that have been announced before the showcase, but we haven't heard much about and not have not been released yet. That's Avowed, Fable, Forza, Stalker 2, Steady K3, Outer Worlds 2, Perfect Dark, Hellblade 2, Contraband. Out of those games, we got Avowed, Fable, Forza, and Hellblade 2 shown at this new showcase. Shown at the showcase this past Sunday. Um, first game shown at the showcase was Fable, and Fable is for those who don't know, Fable is a old franchise dating back to the original Xbox. There was three mainline games and a spin-off game that came out in this franchise. The first one was on the original Xbox. The next two were on the Xbox 360, and then there was like this card game, if I remember correctly, and everything. I've never got to play. Oh, okay. I've dabbled in these games, but I never fully immersed myself in wanting to play these games more. Um, I think I might. I it's watching the trailer of what it's about and learning of what it provides for it and everything it is getting me interested of at least trying out the original one because I hear the original one, the very first one, is the best one out of the three, or is the second one? It's one of the two. First, it's one of those two in particularly, and I'm gonna try to give it. I'm gonna give it a shot and keep trying to actually play it and all that stuff. Not trying to get bored about it. But it's like it's a nice trailer, so you see a glimpse of gameplay in it, and this is an act. These are RPGs, so these are based on. This is more based on a fantasy where you're like it's a home of you're like the big hero and everything like that, but you make these decisions throughout the game and all that stuff of where the story takes you for that. It's a very interesting franchise, a game and all that stuff. But I highly say check it out. Check out the trailer. The game's on Game Pass. The first three games are on Game Pass, so there is that also. So there you go. Check it out. Uh, After that, we got a brand new game announced from one of their own studios called Compulsion, and the title is called South of Midnight. Now I have their article here, and it's gonna say so how it goes is from the creators of Contrast and We Happy Few. South of Midnight is a spellbinding third person action adventure game set in the American Deep South, coming to Xbox Series X and S within Game Pass, Windows PCs, whether you have PC, Game Pass PC Game Pass, and Steam. You play as Hazel. You will explore the mythos and encounter creatures of Southern folklore in a Macbray and fantastical world. I said that. I hope I said that word right. Macbray. When disaster strikes her hometown, Hazel is called to become a weaver, a magical mender of broken bonds and spirits. Imbued in these new abilities, Hazel will confront and subdue dangerous creatures, tangle the webs of her own family's shared past, and if she's lucky, find her way to a place that feels like home. So, with this trailer in particular, you don't get much of gameplay of how everything works. It is more of like oh, here's a setting, here's what we are, here's your character. Here's an opportunity, here's a chance of what you might you see into this game, what it could be and what it could be. I'm already interested based off the fact that this is a third person action adventure. So this is nothing more. It's nothing more of the open world type of games that you see from like a, excuse me, like Cyberpunk 2077. The what's another game? Another one in particularly like Skyrim's and all that stuff. These are it's more linear, straight to the point. The fact that it's set in the American Deep South, so you're looking at maybe like New Orleans, Louisiana type of kind of thing and everything. That type of feel with is going to be very interesting and all that stuff. And I'm a big sucker for like spirits and magic kind of stuff in a gaming sense and all that stuff. So that's going to be very interesting to see. From what I'm told, it's supposed to come out in 2024. So hopefully between now and then we'll get some ideas of when it comes out. This is so and then particularly for these and for that. Next up from what was available from what we saw is Avowed. Avowed is another is as it's called, set in the world of Aura, a location noted for fans of Pillars of Eternity series. So if you ever played the game Pillars of Eternity, I haven't in particularly. The world, this is a familiar world. This might be a familiar world to people and everything for this. Avowed will seek players to embark on a journey through the living lands, a plagued foreign island full of mysteries and secrets, danger and adventure, choice and consequences. It's a land that feels foreign yet somewhat intrinsic to you, a place calling out for your help. This is a first-person fantasy-based RPG. Players will explore device ecosystems, meet companions along the way, while uncovering the darkness plaguing these lands for this stuff. This will be on Xbox, of course, via Game Pass. If you have Game Pass, it's gonna be available to you day one. Uh, Seeing the trailer for this one was very interesting. It seems very more colorful and lightful of than some fantasy RPGs that I've seen. They're a little bit more darker. From this, I from what I know, from what I can tell, um, I'm interested. I'm like a lot of these games. I'm gonna be honest with you. Coming into this, after seeing this, showcase, there's a lot of games in here that I'm very interested in. And though I'm not a lot like a lot of these I do not endear myself in a lot, I'm willing to try check these out because they're very interesting of what they show, especially within these trailers and all that stuff. The fact that I have Game Pass already, it gives me the opportunity to try these out and see how I feel about them. If it's something I'm going to continue on playing, or it's something that's going to be more like I'm not going to be interested in, or if it's just something like, hey, I'm gonna keep playing this, but I'm not gonna play it. I'm like here and there since I have a Game Pass now, and I don't have to worry about doing this and all that stuff for that. Next game, Forza Motorsport comes out on October 10th of this year, and boy, simulation racer games such as like this and Gran Turismo on the PlayStation consoles. Normally, these type of games don't intrigue me, but just the pure look of how you see this game, it's amazing how they can pull this off and everything for this stuff. We get a trailer, we get gameplay, how the track looks, the cars and everything. It's very nice and beautiful. It gives us our first look at two cars that are actually going to be on the cover of the game. And that is the 2023 number one Cadillac Racing V Series R and the 2024 Chevrolet Corvette E-Ray car. And these are racing cars, more particularly beautiful cars when you see them. Even also the same beautiful when you see them in the game. Very excited for this racing game to check out and all that stuff for this one. And pretty much when it comes out in October. Um, but there's a bunch, and then there's like a bunch of other games that were announced, such as Towerborn. We have 33 Immortals, which is a co-op game with 33 players at once. So interesting to see. City Skylines, City Skylines is a game where you can pretty much this land is your canvas and you build your own cities, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. I've played the first one, and it's a very nice game to chill, relax, have some. If you happen to have Game Pass, whether it be on Xbox or PC, it is available on Game Pass. So I do highly check it out if you want to for that. We have Dungeons of Hindenburg, which is another game. Justlant, which is like this climbing game. It's like you climbing the walls. There's story to it, but it looks the way the world looks when you're looking at this trailer and when it's playing, very interesting to see and all that stuff. And that comes out later this year. Um, if you're a fan of JRPGs, if you're particularly like the Persona series games, um, they are bringing Persona 3. It's a remake, and it's coming out next year. If you're a fan of Persona 5, there's a spin-off game called Persona 5 Tactica, which is a tactical game in with Persona 5 characters and everything for that. And then of course there's a new game coming from the same people who did Persona 5 called Metaphor Refantastico. I can't even say that right for that in particularly. But that's these are all new RPG games or in a spin-off from a famous RPG game. And they're all coming to Game Pass day one, which is very, very cool to see. There's many other games that are coming out. I do highly recommend checking out the showcase if you haven't already. And all that stuff. It's I recommend it if you're the hardcore of Xbox fans or even if you're just a casual player in general and all that stuff. Like check this out, see what the games are about, see what they're interesting about, see if they're interesting to you and everything. It's it's even if you're like there because I always tell somebody it's like it's worth checking out because you never know what kind of game you might see for for them. And there could be something there and I'd be like, oh, this is interesting. I want to check this out. I want to know more and all that stuff. And then whatever it's coming out this year, coming out next year, and all that stuff, it'll be interesting to see. And if you haven't been decided yet, if you haven't still been undecided on getting an Xbox, they are bringing a brand new one. It's the S model, which is the more smaller rectangular one, but it's coming in all black and it has going to have a terabyte storage. So that's pretty cool. It's going to be $349.99 when it comes out on September 1st, and pre-orders are already available if you have it and all that stuff. Now, for those who want to know, to provide a little more context, the S doesn't come with a disk drive, so you cannot buy games that are that disc-based games and all that stuff. If you want to get an Xbox and be able to buy games for a disc, you're going to have to get the X, which is the more expensive one. The recommendation of why getting a Series S, in particular, especially now with a terabyte with more storage in it, Game Pass. So that way, get the Game Pass. You either pay the $10.99 if you want to get it for console, or for the $15.99, which is the ultimate, which gives you all the games for the Game Pass games for Xbox, Game Pass games for PC, but also the cloud streaming. Also, if you want to do that too, along with some extra benefits with it too. Also, that way you have the games already. You have the games right there in front of you already. So that way it's like boom, boom. You have this collection of games already with Game Pass. You can just download them there too, and all that stuff. That's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be the good stuff for it. And then other stuff such as like live service stuff, like if you're for games like Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out with new DLC, and it looks very amazing. September 26th of this year is when it comes out. Phantom Liberty is the name of it. The one cool thing about it, actor Idris Alba is in it. He's playing one of the characters in this title named Solomon Reed. And it looks very amazing. The story, if you haven't played Cyberpunk itself, now is a perfect time to get this game and everything. The game itself is amazing. Once the expansion comes out on the 26th, it's gonna be awesome to see. Now, to give you a hindsight on this, the expansion is only going to release on the Series X and Series S. So if you happen to have Cyberpunk for the Xbox One, unfortunately, you will not be able to get the expansion for this. So, for right now, unfortunately. So this is one of those examples of grabbing an S would be the best bet, unless you got Cyberpunk on disc and all that stuff. But that's not anything. One thing that I found interesting also, so the two big ones for me, and particularly outside of everything else, like again, Fable Avowed and South of the Midnight, all amazing games. The two that I'm excited for more coming up for coming to Xbox will be Starfield, which is coming day one on September 6th, and the other one is actually it's not exclusive to Xbox. It's coming to PlayStation 5 also, and that is a new Star Wars game called Star Wars Outlaws. Starting with that, I just missed the article. Sorry, I'm trying to like grab the article for it so I can talk about it a bit more, to give you an idea of what it says in the article. So, experience the first ever open world Star Wars game, Star Wars Outlaws, set between the events of Empire Strike Back and Return of the Jedi. Explore new and iconic locations across the galaxy. Risk it all as Cave Vess, an emerging scoundrel seeking freedom and the means to start a new life along with her companion Nix. Fight, steal, and outwit crime syndicates as you join the galaxy's most wanted. And if you're willing to take the risk, the galaxy is full of opportunities. Now, first things first, set between Empire Strike Back and Return of the Jedi, I'm already interested in right there, because there is a lot that's happened most likely between those two movies. So there was we saw a trailer for it in the Xbox showcase. The after the showcase, we got our first look of how the game looks. Oh boy, I'm towards the end of it was okay. So not only was there is gameplay, you stealth, game shoot, drive, roaming around different areas on a particular planet. They have this GTA style wanted system and everything, which is very cool to see. But there is going to be flying, and like from leaving the planet, you get into space, and then you can go into hyperspace to the next place and to the next planet. So far from where it just right there, all that is just very exciting to see for in a Star Wars game too. Because most Star Wars games, especially from like the last game, right, which I played was Jedi Survivor, it's more linear. Though Star Jedi Survivor does have an open world feel, but it's not fully open world, unlike what hopefully what we see from Outlaws. Because we're gonna journey a lot of places. We're gonna be more expanded to do a lot of more other things, and I'm just excited to see what's gonna happen with this. Now this is it's gonna be awesome. Um, there's no confirmed release date, but 2024 is the projected time of when this game comes out. I'm very excited for it. I'm a big Star, of course, because I'm a Star Wars fan, and but the fact of getting a different time period, and particularly within the whole franchise and the whole canon, which is pretty much between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, because most of the stuff so far has either been before the main trilogy or after the main trilogy, and then sometimes either within like Clone Wars and all that stuff. But that we haven't had something, at least in my opinion, I could be wrong. We haven't had something that's set within the main episodes 4, 5, and 6, pretty much within that timeline in particularly. So time frame particularly. So that's gonna be exciting to see and what we learn more and what we understand more. Probably get a few hints of like something that's related to outside the other stuff and everything, most particularly probably like the Mandalorian lore. But on to the piece de la resistance, that is Starfield. So at the end of the showcase, they did a 50 minute presentation on just Starfield by itself. And there's a reason why they did that. A very good reason. The amount of stuff that you can do in this game. Now, this game is from the people that have done Fallout 4, 3 and 4 in particularly, and then the Elder Scrolls series 5 in particularly. If you played Skyrim, for a perfect example, this is this is the first game they've done outside of those two in over 2 decades, and oh my god, oh my god! Not only it's how you set up your character, the fact that it's like once you pretty much get out tutorial stuff and everything learn, do some main quest stuff, you're not in an open world, you're in an open universe. for this stuff. And as they said, you are over, it's over 1,000 planets to space in between, as it says in in the article they're talking about. So you have literally everything to your liking, everything that you enjoy, that you have a good time, and all that stuff where you can do whatever, pretty much whatever you want. You can pretty and whether it's be a pirate, board of the ships, take their take either take all their stuff or take the ship itself and everything like that. Doing other missions that are not part of the main quest and everything like for that. Building your own place or your own ship, and you can do a tons of stuff. There was a scene where you can do a mech style ship and everything like that. It doesn't work like a mech, but still, the way it looked, it was kind of cool and for that stuff. And it just goes. It was just hours on end of how much you can do. There's action. You can shoot around and all that stuff, mine things and everything like that. And the it is this is an RPG, particularly, but the way of getting your features of what you want to be, whether and how you what you want to do, is just so a lot and everything like that. I think I've seen it like 2 3 times to just like get a grasp of what this does, and still to this day, it's like what more like how does this all work for this stuff? But it's just so much and for that stuff. I'm like, it's I'm j it's very interesting because I like RPGs, don't get me wrong, but I've never been more immersed or more excited for one in ever than I have been with Starfield, for what it provides and what they can do, what they wanna do with this game, and I I'm still speechless for it and everything for this stuff, and, like, I'm ex it's a v I think because I am more of probably, like, sci-fi, because if you look at so like I said, they've done 2 other games, 2 franchises already, Elder Scrolls and Fallout. Elder Scrolls is more the dark fantasy medieval style RPG, and then Fallout is more of a post-apocalyptic feel to it and everything like that. And I've played Fallout 4. I played a little bit of Skyrim and everything, and they're good game. They're interesting games. Don't get me wrong. It's like if I it was just something that never. I don't want to say it didn't click. It's just more like I can go here if I want to, and then I can come back later. Hopefully, I can remember stuff. But Starfield, I think it is because this is more sci-fi, and I'm more into that more. I mean, heck, I play Mass Effect like trilogy like so many times already because that is more sci-fi RPG. And this one in particular, there's so much more though. There's so much more. I don't know what to do with myself off for that, and I don't know. I'm like, what am I gonna do with my ship? How am I gonna build my outpost? Who should I talk to with companions, or should I just journey across the whole universe and places and different planets and all that stuff? Do I play the main story first and just get it out the way so I can just do whatever the hell I want after it and all that stuff? Do I want to be a pirate? Do I want to be this other thing and all that stuff? Like, who am I gonna be when I play this game and all that stuff? Like, I'm excited for this and all that stuff. And I don't know. It's just I don't know. I'm just very interested in what it is gonna be, and for this show in particular, just to go back to the whole show in general, I'm just excited. I think this whole showcase has reminded me of why I enjoyed video games. And this is nothing against PlayStation because they have good single player games. Don't get me wrong, but these ones in particularly that are coming out soon and later, and potentially more depending because they still have other studios. I'm excited about them, and no matter what, like I can care less the RPG action adventure, all this other stuff. The fact that they have a story that's really interesting and different to each one and all that stuff. It's very interesting and exciting to see, and I hope everyone else sees that and all that stuff. I can care. Like, here's the thing: I don't want people. I understand like people have their preference of what games they want to play and all that stuff, but I always think of it as more of like don't knock it until you try it and all that stuff. And the fact that Game Pass exists now, it should give you more of an piqued interest of wanting to try these games out. And for particularly these or anything that's different from what you normally play for this. It's why I'm happy to have an Xbox. It's why I'm happy I have Game Pass and everything like that. It's why I'm happy to be a gamer because I get to try different things and all that stuff and everything like that. And if I don't like it, I can just jump back to my comfort stuff, no matter what. And and then particularly like right now, though I have to pay for them, I'm enjoying Diablo. I'm enjoying Street Fighter as much as I can and all that stuff. And along with though it's like Fortnite, Warzone, Overwatch 2 are live service games, and I can always jump into them no matter what. Even those have games, even those I'd have a hard time. I can't keep up, not keep up, but more. I can't keep myself playing those a long time for a long period of times and all that stuff. And that's nothing wrong with that of taking a break from those and all that stuff. And the fact that and it's like for me, like I said, I have Game Pass. I can jump in and be like, "What's on Game Pass? What can I play? And let me play that for now." And all that stuff. And the fact that I'm gonna be able to do that when I get Starfield comes out in September, I'm gonna that is my game to like. I'm probably most likely gonna delve into it, probably do the main quest, do some other stuff in there and all that stuff. And but I know for the fact it's gonna stay installed and to come to it the day of. I can't play these these Fortnite and all this stuff and everything right now because it's because I just don't want to. I can fall back on Starfield, or I can fall back on a Vow, or I can fall back on Fable, or I can fall back on Sons of Midnight if I want to do like another playthrough of that if I already beated it. All that stuff, or it's Towerborn, or like something like that, or City Skylines and everything like that. I just I'm happy to be able to play these games right now, and that's because of Game Pass overall. Check out the showcase. If not, go to Xbox's YouTube channel. The trailers are all there, including the direct for Starfield. Uh, I'm gonna end this episode here. Hope and everything. If you happen to be watching this on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, comment below. Tell us what you're excited for from the game showcase, everything. And if you're happy to be listening to this again, we are on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and many other audio services that where we're available under the No Name Entertainment name. And of course, you can check us out on YouTube Music, on under No Name Gaming Podcast for this one in particularly. And if you happen to be listening to this on YouTube Music, other than that, I'm gonna call it a night for me and get this all going. I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.